What actually is an ethical tarot reader? I just handed somebody my business card. It says, Andrew, professional and ethical tarot reader. And that's what they asked me. I told them it's someone who actually cares about their client's well-being. And they went, wait? You mean they're tarot readers who don't care about their clients? Sadly, there are. There's a handful of people and organisations out there preying on folk who are just looking for help. People will tell you they know when you're going to die, or how to win the lottery, or they just can remove a curse if you just hand over 200 bucks. And the worst part, these scammers end up dragging down the reputation of every genuine, ethical tarot reader out there. People who actually want to make a difference. So, how do you make sure you're one of these good ones? What actually counts as ethics in tarot reading? Let's get into it. Here's how I define it. Someone who cares about their client's well-being. Someone with clear boundaries. They know what they will and won't answer. And somebody who's actual built structure around their ethic pieces, not just good intentions. Think an actual code of ethics, a confidentiality statement, that kind of thing. The American Tarot Association puts a similar way. Ethical readers, they say, help people hear their own inner guidance better. They empower clients to think things through and land on their own decisions. They point people towards a licensed pro, a doctor, a counsellor, a lawyer, when something's beyond what a tarot reading can actually speak to. And they never, ever tell somebody they've got a curse or bad energy and then charge them to remove it. So, what does it actually take? Okay, this one can literally save you from a lawsuit. You're probably a brilliant tarot reader, but you're probably not a doctor, a lawyer, or a financial advisor. So stay out of that danger zone. Don't give medical, legal, or financial advice in a reading. Doesn't matter what the cards are saying. If somebody asks about a health scare, a legal mess, or where to put their money, that's not your lane. Point them to a professional instead of leaning on intuition. And honestly, in a lot of places, giving that kind of advice without license isn't just unethical, it's illegal. So, stick to your lane, read the energy, offer perspective, and if it crosses into professional territory, hand them off to a doctor, lawyer, or accountant. Protect them. Protects you too. People are going to tell you deep, private stuff in the reading. They're trusting you to keep it that way. So, keep it that way. Don't share details of the reading. Not with your partner, your friends, your family. Not with your client's partner, family, or friends. Store their info securely. And only use it for readings itself. Unless they told you it's fine to use it otherwise. Like in a testimony. Confidentiality usually is just assumed, but I'd actually recommend having the real privacy and confidentiality statement for your business. Doesn't need to be fancy, just something that says, hey, this matters to me. One exception, if a client tells you they're going to hurt themselves or hurt somebody else, or if they committed a serious crime, you're actually obligated to report that. And I really hope you're never in that spot, but you should know where the line is. Tell your clients what you actually see. Don't soften for hard stuff or hide for disappointing news, but don't hide behind just telling like it is either. Treat people with compassion, being brutally honest with zero regard to how it lands. That's just as unethical as sugarcoating it or holding back. Your client should leave knowing exactly where things stand and with some kind of path forward. That's the goal. Empowerment. Leave your judgments and opinions at the door. Sounds easy. It's not always easy. The client tells you about an affair with a married guy who's got young kids. And part of you can't help but think about his wife, his kids, or you watch somebody go through a breakup after a breakup, and you're sitting there wondering why they keep doing this to themselves. Doesn't matter. Your job is to stay impartial. Whether or not you agree with what they're doing, they're trusting you with something personal, and they deserve guidance without your judgment. Leave the opinions at the door. Some clients are going to keep coming back over and over. And look, it'd be easy to see that as easy money. Don't. If somebody wants readings after readings on the exact same question, or if they're showing up every single day, gently push back on that. Tarot's great for insight, but at some point, someone needs to actually go within instead of endlessly asking somebody else what to do. Your job, honestly, is reminding them that they already know the answer. They just need to trust it. You're a guide, a helping hand, but it's their path. Never make a reading conditional on buying something extra. A spell to clear negative energy, a curse removal. That's scammy territory. Scaring or pressuring people into buying more and more of what's basically fake. Now, if you're generally a skilled witch or spellcrafter, go for it, work your magic. Just keep it professional, ethical, and never use fear to make the sale. Sometimes a client wants a straight answer. Should I quit my job? Leave my husband? What career should I pick? It's a tough spot. Part of you wants to just tell them, but you don't want to take away their free will either. Because the last thing you want is the same client coming back a year later saying, I did what you told me and it fell apart. Your job is not to tell them what to do, it's to coach, to guide, remind them the choices. And responsibility is theirs. Probably the most important one of this list, have an actual written code of ethics. To become a certified professional tarot reader with the Tarot Certification Board, you're required to have one. Same with being an American Tarot Association member. It protects your clients, it protects you, it protects the whole community. Your code might cover stuff like, will you read for minors? Will you read for third parties? What topics are off limits? How will you treat clients? What do you do with their info? How will you handle free will? Here's the American Tarot Association code, word for word. I will serve the best interest of my clients, conducting my professional activities without causing or intending to cause harm. I will treat all my clients with equal respect, regardless of their origin, race, religion, gender, age, or sexual preference. I will honestly represent my tarot qualifications, my education, my certifications, my experience. I will keep confidential the names of my clients and everything discussed in a reading unless the client says otherwise or court requires it. I will recommend clients consult a licensed professional for legal, financial, medical, or psychological advice. I am not qualified to give. And if I'm trained in one of these areas, I clearly separate the tarot reading from the professional advice. I will respect my clients, right to end their readings whenever they want, no matter what we agreed to beforehand. And I recognise every ATA member has the same rights and obligations as I do. So I always respect my fellow members. So that's it. That's your roadmap. If you actually want to be an ethical tarot reader, follow these and you'll know exactly where you stand. If this helped, Hit subscribe and like, and drop a comment telling me what being an ethical tarot reader means to you.